Host parent sexually assaulted foreign exchange student. Prosecutors sickened by crime. A California man was sentenced to 2 years in prison Friday for sexually assaulting a 15-year-old foreign exchange student he was hosting. Jose Espino Bajal, 37, was convicted in Fresno County Superior Court of a single count of sexual battery by restraint involving a French student who was living in his home in order to attend an American high school. But instead of happy memories of her time in the U.S., the teenager took home the trauma of being sexually assaulted by her host father, said prosecutor Andrew Jans. Jans worked out a plea agreement with the defendant where he would plead no contest to sexual battery by restraint in exchange for dropping the remaining charges of rape, 2 counts of unlawful sexual intercourse, and 2 counts of lewd acts on a 14 or 15-year-old child. Jan said the case took longer than expected to prosecute, in part because it involved law enforcement agencies in 2 countries. According to court documents, Reha and his wife volunteered in 2014 to be host parents for the foreign exchange student. The student enrolled as a freshman at a high school in the Fresno area, living with the Rehas from August 2014 to October 2014. It was during that time that the student told police Reha kissed her on several occasions and had sex with her twice, all of which was non-consensual. He also sent her inappropriate text messages, documents said. When his wife saw the text messages, she had the student transferred to another host family. The student did not speak about the incident until after she returned home to France the following year. Initially, Reha told police the sex was consensual, but he later admitted his guilt. His attorney, Brian Andrews, said his client was ready to accept his punishment. He added that Reha is married, has a job, and recently had a child. He knows what he did was wrong. Reha, who was out of custody and seated next to Andridge, offered a brief apology to the former student, who is now 22, and continues living in France. I would like to apologize to the victim for all the harm I have done to her, he said. The former student appeared remotely on a video monitor. She sat in between her parents and had little to no reaction to Reha's apology. She told Judge John Capitan that she was satisfied with his prison sentence and the charge. She also wrote a statement to the court, which prosecutors Jans read. In her statement, she said Reha was supposed to be a father figure, but instead he sexually assaulted her. As a result, that has caused her to distrust men, even within her own family. She has anxiety attacks and has battled an eating disorder. She has been to therapy, but fears having a relapse. I know I may never be able to recover from it completely, and that I can only learn to live with it, she wrote in her statement. And it goes on a while. That's sad because we do have exchange students. I know one, she told me she was an exchange student in Colorado when she was in high school, and she's from Thailand. And she did have some positive stuff to say. She learned how to ski and all that stuff out there. Unfortunately, this French girl had quite a different experience out in California.